Wondering what to write about, trying to figure out what it's all about. Existentialist, am I worth anything or just discount? I don't know.
That was Great Sounds Watts Without Sound on WNHH LP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Preston, with my partner in crime, Long Island raised, Elm City made, EZ Bluez is in the building. Easy Bluez, you are better with introductions more than me. Who do we have this today on Behind the Brand?
Ladies and gentlemen, in the world of folklore, there are many things that we speak of. But when we truly speak about the Fae, we truly understand what life can be. Now we jump back in the DeLorean and kick it to 88 miles an hour, and we go back in time to the House of State. And there, celebrating Pride for the New Haven Pride Center, there was this amazing human being upon stage. And in the crowd, there were people in ski masks with bubble guns. You heard me, bubble guns. And this was forever when I knew life was different. And this was someone I needed in my life. So we put up the flares of artistic integrity and we sent out a beacon. And this most incredible human has come here today to talk about all the things that are they, them, and awesome. So I want you to put your hands together, not if you're driving. If you're driving, please keep your hands at 10 and 2. We do not need any accidents. But mentally, put your hands together for the enigmatic, amazing, and absolutely iconoclastic Indigo the Fae.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction.
Of course.
Yes, I'm Indigo the Fae. I'm from New Haven. I'm excited to be on this podcast. Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
Hello,
Thank you
New
very much.
Haven.
So for those who don't know, who have actually been living completely under a rock in the past year and a half, who are you and what exactly do you do?
I am Diamond Ellis, aka Indigo, aka Indigo the Fae. I am a rapper, I am a producer, and I'm a curator of pop-up events in New Haven. I created Punk Noir, which was a punk queer festival located downtown New Haven, as well as like POC Black fronted bands. I also organize Hi-Fi, which is centered on electronic artists from out of state, bridging them to connect with artists from Connecticut as well. And on my own time, I am producing my own beats. I am writing my own music and dropping on SoundCloud at random times without warning to my fans.
That's
Well,
a big resume.
I mean, yeah, no, that is a big resume. And for people who don't know, that is also very particular behavior for the Fae. The Fae is very mischievous and will do what they want, when they want, and how they want it. What drew you to the lore of a Fae?
So a lot of times, people that are close to me, they'll notice that I'm kind of like in my own world, just like in my own headspace, which is why I tell people like I'm from inner space because not really feeling the vibes of humanhood all the time. And I do feel like kind of detached from common society. And so I feel kind of like just another creature. And the fairy or fae comes about because I'm kind of just like always looking cute, always popping out to the most random things. Like you'll just randomly see this fairy-like person like in the mosh pit of like these metal shows. I used to go to a lot of underground raves, noise shows, rock shows, and I'd just be looking like bubbly and cute. And so it's kind of like this fairy's just floating around. So that's kind of where fae came from.
And it is very true, because there's nothing like looking at like going to like a Scavs or a Queen Kong show and seeing like a Powerpuff Girl in the pit dancing around like there is no tomorrow. But that's one of the most important things, and one of the things we love about the New Haven scene in particular. You know, a lot of people like to look past the New Haven scene, but we are so super supportive of each other, that it really does not even matter the style. You know, like if just Homie has a show, we're all going to be out there. We're all going to be acting a fool and having as much fun as humanly possible. And that has allowed us to connect with a whole bunch of incredible people. You, I know, last year or this past year, you got to open up for the absolutely amazing Chesky Ramos. What was that like, and how did that call happen?
Yeah, that was so cool. So like that was a long time coming because the first time I ever performed in Boston, I think that was 2021. I got booked for Third Wave, this underground dance party scene that happens. And one of the people in the crowd was like, "Oh my God, your set was awesome. You said you're from New Haven. A lot of your music references New Haven. Do you know Chesky? Do you know the Fake Four?" And I was like, "I have no idea who that is. But thanks for peeping game and letting me know that there's like, I didn't realize there was someone in New Haven who like had an independent label and was super successful in in the rap game, just like doing their thing, traveling. And I thought that was really impressive. What I didn't expect was the person who talked to me that night actually hit up Chesky on Twitter and was like, "Hey, you need to like tap in with Indigo the Fae, who just rocked Boston and like is from New Haven." And so Chesky like liked the tweet and was like, "Okay, cool, I'll check this person out." And let's see, I think it was like the next time I performed in Boston that the same person who had said something about Chesky was like, they saw the flyer online for my show. This happened in February. And they were like, "Cool, I'm going to come through." They came through and once again tagged Chesky on Twitter and was like, "Why haven't you tapped in with Indigo yet?" It's
Mm-hmm.
been like over a year. Um, and Chesky kind of like liked it. And I noticed he started to watch my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like commenting on my things. He messaged me and said, "Hey, I've been watching your stuff and you seem really cool. Would you be interested in any performance opportunities?" And I said, "Absolutely." And so he let me know that there was going to be a, what is called May Day, or was it Cinco de Mayo? It was Cinco de
Mm-hmm.
Mayo. And he was like, "Would you like to be part of this? It'll be the label, some people from Fake Four coming to New Haven. Would you like to open?" And I was super excited. I knew it was a big opportunity. Because honestly, when it comes to rap, I think a lot of people glorify like the mainstream artists and like
Mm-hmm.
the glamour, luxurious life. I think it's nice to have luxuries. Anybody wants that. Like everybody wants that, and we all do deserve that. At the same time, I recognize how there's a lot of systemic nonsense going on in the mainstream like entertainment game, and I don't really want to have any part of that. Like people don't own their music. People are actually owing millions of dollars to the labels that they sign to. And also labels can choose when they want to give you attention, give you airtime and promotion, and when they're on to the next hottest fad of music. And so I really respect independent artists. I respect artists that leave America to for their art in order to to make money so that they can live and perform. I really respect that. So I really respect Chesky for how he's been holding it together and just like being an artist and a business person. I felt like that was such an honor to share the stage with
Mm-hmm.
that whole gang. And the experience itself was great. Chesky is super charming. Oh my gosh, super sweet and genuine. Like they tell you like don't meet your heroes, quote unquote. Chesky is a hero that you totally want to meet. Super sweet person. And New
No,
Haven loves Chesky. Like ridiculous how it was sold out.
Now,
So
Oh
is
that's
he
yeah.
the
chill.
hero
Oh, yeah.
you didn't know you ever had?
Absolutely. Because
Oh,
like I
see,
said,
you took
I
my
didn't even
line.
know.
Oh, I didn't know. Great
No,
minds
I
think
was
alike.
literally going
That's
to say that. I
awesome.
was like, yeah, see, it's what's so
It's
incredible because like I
yeah.
met, I met Chesky a little bit even before knowing his music. I like just broke bread with him with Wouter. And he just is such an incredible human. Like someone I want to sit and talk to and just hours of conversation about every little thing from, the writing of a perfect verse or the most imperfect verse to, talking about politics, to talking about religious trauma, to talking about, who won that past game that no one paid attention to while it was on in the background. You know, it's just such that incredible aspect. So he becomes literally that hero you don't know. He's that homie turned hero or that
Hmm.
hero turned homie, depending on how you
Hmm.
want to look at it.
And the music is so good. Like,
Oh,
oh my God, the rapping with a live band, I love that. So
hmm.
incredible. And the lyrics are just like, this is poetry. It's like quick, fast poetry, like
And
speedy
also
poetry.
the fact that how much like New Haven and other places do love him, the flex that he gets to walk off stage to the other side of the stage away from the microphone and the entire crowd will start and continue a song until he decides he wants to come back and sing with everybody. That is such an amazing thing. And it's a once in a lifetime type of talent. And when he sees something in someone and that is like the ultimate because I remember seeing you the first time that I saw you, I believe was September 2 years ago for the Pride event at the State House as well. You were with the amazing Pink Navel, and I knew from jump that no matter how many people were there, the way you commanded the stage, the way that you executed your stuff, it was something different, and you became one of my daughter's favorite new artists. Right, and that aspect, and to have someone who is
Mhm.
so positive and friendly for those that are different. The fact everyone knows the story of my daughter. It's incredible that she can have such incredible human beings that she can talk to. It's not just the people that like are famous throughout the aspect, but you're approachable. And when my daughter had a question, you were right there for it, and you saw, that there's beauty there in her transformation and her acceptance. So I wanted to thank you for that.
Oh my God, that is so sweet. What's your daughter's name?
Crow.
Crow. Hi, Crow. Oh my God, it was great to meet you. And I'm glad that I could be inspiration for you. Never stop expressing your truest self.
Mhm. Exactly, exactly. So that being said, in the industry as dark and as twisted and as image centric as it is on that mainstream, massively corrupt, systemic level, how has it been being outside of the sociological norm, trying to
Word.
make your way through the industry?
Word. Before I get into that, I do have to shout out that I have a project coming up with Chesky.
Awesome.
That's coming out, I think it's sometime in December. I'm not gonna say a date. Sometime before Christmas. It's really cool. It's like a bunch of small EPs coming out from people on the label.
Mhm.
And I'm not on the label officially, but I
Yeah,
am going to be part of that project. So stay tuned. Those EPs will be released on Bandcamp through Fake
Nice.
4, and you'll see me up there. But to get into your question, how has it been being independent? It's really hard, to be honest. It's really hard because I do all the promotion for myself. I do all the graphic design for myself. And I really love guerrilla marketing. Honestly, it can be so fun. It's
mhm.
way better than just like paying Facebook $10 to send your flyer in your event to like 500 people for a couple days. What I do is I do a lot of investing in myself and my art. I bought my own printer so I could print my flyers myself. I bought like this little Bluetooth sticker printer so I can print out my QR codes and stick them on the bus, um, the bus or bus stops or anything like that. And word of mouth is the most powerful form of promotion. So I like to connect with people. Um, And I like to be an inspiration for people.
Mhm.
So a lot of people like they ask me, what are the best venues to perform at? What are some other artists that I can be reaching out to for collaborations? And I feel like that's another thing, collaborating, that's another thing that propels one's career as a performer, as a musician. And so it's really hard to keep up with all of that,
Mhm.
to be honest. It's I've been told so many times that I need a team because I do everything myself.
Right.
Mhm.
And I don't know, I just got to find people that are on the same like wavelength, because I know people who are motivated, but when it comes to like the energy and frequency of my particular vibe, I still need to find like a dedicated squad.
No, that is
Fair.
that is so true
Fair.
because you are only as strong as the team that is around, and it shouldn't necessarily be a team as much as it should be 100% of a family, and in the best and worst ways. Because I will do anything for a family member, a teammate. When practice is over, and if we're not playing a game, I got stuff to do. But a family member, you get that call to 2 o'clock in the morning that someone needs to be picked up. You're there. So you might not be speaking to that person at that point in time, but that family member calls you and somebody else is raining on their parade and you're there with the umbrella. So that's why it's so
Mm-hmm.
super super important to have that team, and to
Yep.
have the right people on that team. So I totally get that.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Oof.
I agree too. I definitely agree. My team is just myself and my friend over here with the fuzzy beards. We're the fuzzy beard team. We're a good squad. Um,
Fuzzy Bear team.
but I want to know just a little about not even just Chesky being your hero, just who your heroes in general, because you're a female of color going into like a metal world and a rock world, just exploring this stuff. I mean, I could just talk a little bit about my past, like 20, 25 years ago. Like I've never like really seen like just people just of our race just like going to this more and more and more, and it's wonderful to see this. It's great to see this. It's exhilarating and it's liberating at the same time. Just tell me about that little road just starting out and just knowing that you are your own hero when it comes to your journey. I just want to know a little bit more about that.
Yeah, definitely my own hero. To get personal, I guess, I have always loved music, but I didn't
Mm-hmm.
feel like I could do it because growing up, I was told that I was too shy. Like, I
Yeah.
always loved spotlight, to be honest. And I
Mhm.
kind of hate saying that
Mm.
because it's not about the attention or the entertainment of it for me. It's about the raw expression and the ability to just like express, I guess. To be a little redundant with it, I mean, expression is about the outside perception,
Yeah.
the outsider kind of looking at the the thing that is happening, the creation that is happening. For me, I would dance at family functions and I was told that, are you dancing like that? You can't dance.
At a family
That's not
function?
family.
That's
Like
crazy. I'm
my
sorry.
mom
Some
would be
people
so
can't dance
mad
at family
because
function. We just embrace it. That is insane. Continue.
that my mom's gonna be so mad that I'm even saying this. She's like, "Oh my God, you
Let's
always
bring
make it
it.
sound like your childhood was." No, I had a
No,
great
no, no,
childhood, but there were moments where I didn't feel supported creatively.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wanted to be a Disney star, and a Nickelodeon star, and I would literally see the ads. I don't know if you remember this. They
I
would put
do.
ads on
I do. Yeah.
TV,
Mm-hmm.
be the next star on Disney Channel. And I would go to those auditions and
Uh-huh.
I would be told, you're too shy.
Mhm.
You need like
Wow.
lessons. And so
Uh-huh.
I just kind of gave up on the performance aspect and like the music aspect. I didn't believe that
Yeah.
I could even write songs. And then I got into a relationship with someone
Mm-hmm.
who was super dedicated to music,
That's what's up.
Mhm.
and it inspired me incredibly. I am no longer with that person,
Mm-hmm.
but the inspiration that I got propelled me directly onto that stage. um, my first time really getting on stage as a performer, though, was in poetry. I started
Mm.
off with spoken word, and so the microphone in hand kind of became familiar to me, but I had to learn how to like feel that confidence in music. I witnessed artists like Doja Cat on the come up, and
Right.
that she was creating her own beats. I was like, all right, I have an iPad. I'm about to download GarageBand and we're gonna start making my own beats too. And that's what I'm doing today. This year I told myself all create all my beats are gonna be by me this
There
year,
you go.
unless I know the person in person who created the beat. Um and so I really had to like trust myself, to be
Right.
honest,
Hmm.
just to express who I am. And it took a long time to even realize what kind of artist I was. I love all genres of music, but
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that I'm going to be creating those genres of music. So I went from like, oh, do I want to be like in an indie band, or like, do I want to be making alternative hip hop and R&B, or like what is it? And I still think my sound is developing.
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
definitely on the like electronic spectrum, but like I went from like kind of like trap music to now making more like digital hardcore.
Mm.
Right.
And some of my more recent inspirations are like, well, first of all, Rico Nasty is the person that showed me that I can get on that microphone and record a song. Nobody else before that. I might have loved music before,
Right.
but
Hmm.
nobody made me feel like, oh, I can start recording and making music videos today if I wanted to. When I saw Rico Nasty Key Lime OG on YouTube, that was it. That was the start of Indigo, or Dime 203. If you remember, I had that name first, but that
Mm.
was the beginning of me as a rapper.
Hmm.
And
And this is the beginning when I have to say the call letters. WNHLP. Oh, I keep on messing this up. WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Preston, with my partner in crime, Long Island Rays. Elm City made EZ Blues is in the building. Indigo, please continue. Hope I didn't lose your train of thought.
we you. Now we out here. Um, and so yeah, Rico Nasty's huge influence. More one of my recent influences though, because Rico Nasty is signed, so that's kind of like I have that perspective. Like she's kind of like
Hmm.
in the system a bit, but I think Lustic Puppy is so cool. If you don't know Lustic Puppy, definitely tap in. That's like Brooklyn, queercore, digital hardcore music. She's been, or rather, they've been touring the UK, they've been touring the US. Like every couple months, this person is touring. And so it's like if you're into like femme, punk, electronic, hardcore music that is different and danceable,
Mm-hmm.
definitely tap in. Lustic Puppy. I believe Lustic is independent, and that's why I'm super inspired by
Hmm.
them. Um, and yeah, I also really like Princess Nokia, who held it down independent for a very long time. I think,
Awesome.
I don't know if they're still independent, but I know that they signed to a label in the UK, which I think is a bold move and
Mm.
really
Hmm.
cool. But yeah.
No, and that's one of the most important things, and something that I love to highlight here on the show. I'm glad we have this show to do it. Is making sure as an artist you are giving yourself the time to find your own sound, to develop your own sound. We talk about it on the show all the time. All original music has already been done by dead humans in powdered wigs. The only thing that we have to be original is our point of view, and it's who we are. And you can express it in no matter what genre they want to put you in, so they can categorize you. You can express it in any way humanly possible, and if you're having fun doing it and it's healthy, you're not killing anyone, then we're totally fine. Unless it's the rich, and then we eat the rich, and that's fine too. But but we don't kill them. We eat them.
Num num
They
num.
kill each other. That's how that really goes.
Oh Lord.
Um, yeah, word. See, we have a plan. Um, but no, it's so super 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 interesting because you know coming up through the music industry the way that people usually do, there was this whole aspect of you needed to cross over that mainstream, but really underlined you never had to. One of the reasons that we talk about Chesky as much as we do is also because of his connection with Fat Mike. And Fat Mike comes from a band that was one of the biggest punk bands out there that never signed to a major label. Like,
Mm.
that is the reality. You don't necessarily need it. You're just paying a lot more out of pocket. And that
Mm-hmm.
does mean at point in time you sleep less because you're doing everything because you don't have a team yet, or because you haven't found
Mm-hmm.
that family that believes in your dream as much as you do. Um, but this has always been out there, and I just love the fact that now, especially with the internet, it is so much easier to get your stuff distributed so that you can start playing those shows overseas and doing a
Mm-hmm.
little European tour. I know SP we talk about all the time. Japan. That is end goal for us. We want to play a show in Japan, and
Mm.
because we just think the crowd is going to be amazing. And who doesn't? Like, who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want a whole bunch of like people in multicolored, bright clothing jumping around, acting a fool to you being a fool on stage? It is one of the
Mm-hmm.
most incredible things humanly possible. Um, what is the inspiration though behind the music itself?
Mm.
How personal do you actually get? And do share. Yeah, we dig deep in this show. We dig deep.
Nice. Okay, so that's a good question. I feel like my music, again, I've done some genre shifting and some genre melding. So I think it kind of depends what aspect you're talking about. I think for early Indigo, there was a lot of like raunchy, edgy, queercore lyrics um and mannerisms. I think the inspiration for that was just liberation, to be honest, just being like really open and funny. I wanted it to be kind of like humorous and ridiculous.
Hmm.
Definitely inspired by Cupcake, who has that kind of like raunchy, wild lyrics that kind of make you like think twice and kind of have to rewind the song. Like, did I hear that right? A lot of those songs are not released. And so I'm definitely working on getting those out. I think more recently, I've been kind of in my existential bag, just
Hmm.
like contemplating contemplating existence, like what it's like to be Black in America, what it's like to be like non-binary, not just as a gender term, but also just like as a human. Like,
Hmm.
again, I don't always feel like I align with people. You might hear me refer to others as humans. Like sometimes I walk in a room and I'm like, humans are here.
Hmm.
And my friends kind of look at me funny, like, you're one of us, aren't you? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like part human. And that's like a cultural reference. I feel like existentially I am kind of like other. And so a lot of my music kind of reflects that. That's more the experimental and electronic stuff, a lot of which is not released. Once
Hmm.
again, please stay tuned. I'm gonna shout out myself. Check me out on SoundCloud, Indigo, Indigaux. A lot of my stuff is there. But my most recent project, Indigo the Fae, which is an EP of 3 songs, is out on Bandcamp right now. And I
Yeah.
put little blurbs about what each of the songs is about. Um, the first one is very like aggressive because it is a diss track, and but like not a diss track to anyone in particular, just like a situational diss track. It's like, God, I don't want to get too like into it.
Okay. Well, You can
It's
share as
entirely
much
up
or
to
as little.
you.
You want,
It's entirely up to
yeah,
you.
and for those who really want to get into it, what you want to do is you want to go to their Bandcamp. You want to
Mm-hmm.
buy the entire
Definitely support.
EP for, I believe it's $33.33. It's the best
Mm-hmm.
$3.33 you're going to spend. I would suggest waiting until the next Bandcamp fee free day. But if you don't have
Yep.
time and you want to do it right now,
Mm-hmm.
you go and you do that right now, and that's fine too. That's absolutely fantastic. But and then listen to the song, then re-listen to the song, and then you go to a show. You find Indigo probably be at a Queen Kong show, might be at a Shane Penguin show, might be at a Chesky show. These
Mm-hmm.
things happen, okay? And then you have that conversation, and this is how you might be that team member, that family member that Indigo has been looking for to
There you
help get
go.
to that next level.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really what you want to do. And like I
Yeah.
said, you can share as much as or as little as you want. It is
Mhm.
your story. Do not feel pressure to say one way or the other.
Thank
Um,
you.
Yeah,
but I
of
also
course.
would like to point out one, you need to take a look into doing some research in something called the theater of ridiculous. Um,
That
yeah,
sounds familiar. I think
it's
someone
it's
tried to
it's
put
from
me on.
it's from New York City. It's actually where Andy Warhol came out of, and a lot of phenomenal drag queens came through, and they got real interesting into different points of very obscure, weird, and edgy, edgy art. So I think that's
Love
that's
that.
perfect for you. And on top of that, um, what is it like? Because a lot of people will see who we are on stage or in an interview like this, which I love the fact that you're being 100% you, which is key here. Um, because this is another side. Because those who have heard some of the edgier stuff wouldn't realize, you're a sweet, kind and very thought provoking human being and a sensitive human being. Which is so awesome. What is it like living that whole aspect? And one more thing on top of that, maybe we come from the same planet because I do the same thing as per humans, and I feel just a little. I'm like why there'll be times I'll short like we call it short circuiting. In public when we're doing some type of public experience because I'm super overwhelmed by the humans that are around. And
Mm-hmm.
Preston will look at me sometimes. He's like, "You good?" I was like, humans, people. There's just people." And he's like, "All right, go outside, go hang out with your vape. You'll be better for like 5 minutes."
Right.
So yeah, I think we might be cut from a similar cloth, which means we now actually have to make me together. So fantastic.
Let's do it.
But I want to talk about
Um,
the interaction of humans, though. Just the
yeah.
clips I've been seeing of you at the Park Noir Festival, that you helped create in New Haven. You guys look like you're having the most amazing time in the world. Just tell us just a little bit about how that came up together and what more contributions you want to put into the festival when it comes into 2024 and beyond.
Word. Okay, just to clarify,
Yeah.
I didn't help put Punk Noir
Okay.
together.
That's miscommunication. My bad.
No problem. I just want to clarify. I created Punk
I respect it.
Noir. I'm like the founder,
Yeah.
executive director, and I had lots of help
Gotcha.
putting it together. But
Her
so
baby, their baby.
for 2024, Punk Noir is the idea is for it to be a 3-day festival over the weekend next summer, and it'll be split up between genres. The first day will be all genres of the punk diaspora, and anybody will be able to take up stage because it's going to be an open mic.
Nice.
And then day two will be like electronic punk, and day three will be live bands. And
That's cool.
so that's like all I have right now. I don't have a location. I'm like peeping different locations right now. Literally just like checked out a location in Middletown, found a little something in Meriden. As you know, there's kind of a venue scarcity in New Haven. So
Well,
um,
yes,
Hmm.
but also there was that cool spot that we saw together in Hamden that would be perfect for something like that.
in Hamden, oh, the
Yeah.
shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely plan to reach out to them.
Yeah.
Actually,
Sorry.
I have reached out to them, and I'm just
Yeah.
waiting to hear back. So I'm
Oh, we
excited
we
about that
we
too.
we could make that happen. Like I'm I'll just we can we incorporate Elm Underground as well. Mike Voice.
Yeah, let's
And
do it.
yeah, all right, word. Okay, see, we're
We
making
gotta
things
tap
happen.
in.
We're making okay. So
Absolutely. I'm
that's it.
ready to
We're
work.
bestest friends by now. Okay, cool. This is great.
Oh, and to answer your question about like how people kind of react to the
Mm-hmm.
fact that on stage I am one thing and then I'm kind of like not quiet. It depends. If you know me deeply, then you'll know that I'm silly and just as rowdy as I am on stage. Um, and then for people that are kind of new, I'm just a little bit more reserved or like I'm kind of more observant to the other people. It's like, do you deserve to enter through the gates of Indigo's full personality? Like, not everybody gets to witness my full personality. Some of my friends don't even like know who I am, to be honest.
Wow.
And like, that's okay because I'm still discovering who I am. And so it's a nice journey. It's a little weird because like people have their expectations of me. And when they realize they don't know me, it's like this weird thing of like disappointment. But it's like, you're not entitled to feel disappointed. You had expectations of a personality and a image that you see on Instagram, but you don't know who Indigo is IRL. And that's
Right.
okay. That is perfectly fine.
Well, no, that is
Look up
something that
if you really care, find my interviews, listen to this interview,
right.
read through interviews from my past, find out about me, DM me. Like
Word.
There you go.
Have a conversation at a show. I mean that is one
yeah.
of the biggest things that people not in this industry don't quite understand, but also people sometimes in this industry don't understand. There is going to be that dichotomy, and we say all the time it's got that professional wrestling type of feel. The most successful people are those that are just themselves turned up to 11 when they're on stage. And a lot of people with myself is, I'm on stage and that's home for me. Like I'm here to do battle and this is my home and you can't take my home from me. But then I get off stage and I'm that chubby 12-year-old that was just never good enough to do nothing.
Mm.
And still sitting on my bed afraid to talk to
Mm-hmm.
people. Both are the same person and both are just as real as the other, but both are there and you're either going to know one or the other. And we say it all the time. I'm not responsible for what other people's opinions of me, nor is it any of my business.
Mm-hmm.
But I love it because people underestimate so many different ways, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and you get to catch them by surprise. Um, Now,
I
what
love
is it
that.
like trying to catch people by surprise in Elm City, where we're pushing some boundaries, we're doing some things, but we ain't pushing as hard as we can. You got some people out there that try to push a little bit more than others, but then you have a lot of people because it gets so simple and easy to fall into a routine because becomes comfortable. When we're truly doing art, we're living as uncomfortable as humanly possible.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you manage that?
Yeah, I'll be very frank with you. Connecticut, you're not edgy enough. I'm sorry.
Oh wow.
I think that the idea that we're like on the edge and we're so cool is like not true. Like, check out the Brooklyn underground scene and then talk to me.
Well,
um,
no, see, hold on. I'm gonna push back for a second because it's
okay.
it's it's to me, it's not really that it's on the edge, not on the edge, or on the forefront of being on the edge.
hmm
It's there are actual artists out here that are just out here to be artists, and you
hmm
don't see a lot of that in other areas, and I think we get slept on for that a
hmm
lot. So like there's a lot of people who are
Yeah.
allowed. Like I just saw, as you can see by my awesome shirt, I just saw a People's Club. You know. Uh, the other day, and these guys are pushing that envelope in a punk type of way, more similar to like a Captain Beefheart. So I mean, it's there. It's just
Yeah.
not as to
Okay.
me. It's not as unified, and like for some reason, you don't know about People's Club, and People Club don't know about you, and that's the problem.
Mm.
hmm
Because I feel like you all be rocking in the same type of scene, and now we're talking about shows getting crazy. Like the
hmm
dude showed up in cheekless jorts.
Love it.
Oh Lord.
Okay, yeah.
Num num.
So see, um, but that so I think it's there. It's just um the scenes don't know about each other, and that's why we love this show because no matter what the style of music is, if you're out there to push art, then we want to do something with you. We want to build with you out here, and that's something that
Okay.
I learned from Connecticut, from like a Mark Lyon or a Mr. Council or a Chesky Ramos, or Opus and
I
Steve
will
Rod.
say that like um I love the scene in Brooklyn. I think that Connecticut's kind of like conservative, and so okay, there's so much I want to say here. For
And say
example,
it all. We got time.
I went to a Buck show yesterday. I don't know if you know Buck,
Hmm.
who's like this experimental performer and noise artist who literally wears like, I don't know, it's like a trash bag with all this like stuff glued to it and like a mask and stuff while screaming poetry over drums. And it's just so cool, right? The
Hmm.
show is awesome. I think the crowd kind of struggled to understand the artisticness of it. I think it was funny that nobody was moshing during the set, which I
Hmm.
kind of liked because, again, there was a story being told through Buck's performance. So I think people kind of caught on to that and they might have been witnessing. But also, there was like, I don't know, I felt like there was a lack of like coherence in the crowd of like the art form that was happening before them.
Hmm.
They kind of just stood and watched, and yeah, it was like kind of weird. I think in Brooklyn, when artists do things like that, or even not even just Brooklyn, because
Hmm.
this is what I was going to bring up. Brooklyn is a great hub of art. However, in New York is a great hub of art. However, it is so expensive to live there. I think that a lot of the cities that we consider art hubs are actually deteriorating. For example, New York, the air quality when those fires happened in Canada, the air
Hmm.
quality in New York was so like it was so affected by the
Oh
fact
yeah.
that there's just buildings everywhere that the smog just like stayed trapped in the city for a prolonged period of time, causing people to have like respiratory issues and people with immunocompromisations. They were not able to go outside, as well as like the fact that the street is literally like caving in some places. This is just a little bizarre to me. And then in California, there's constant fires. There's an issue with like the amount of clean water that they have available. There's like the issue of homelessness. There's the issue of air quality, traffic. I really admire artists who leave these hubs, these places that we've seen as traditional hubs of art, and they leave them to create new hubs in places that are unlikely. For example, Boston has a really great show house scene. New Brunswick in Jersey, they have a great show house scene. Great musical artists there. Um, Atlanta. Atlanta gets slept on so much. They're starting to get a little bit of buzz now, because rappers are coming from there. But they have like genre benders, and like groundbreaking sounds that are coming out of Atlanta. There's an artist who goes by Frankie Consent, who's an
Hmm.
experimental performer. A kind of reminds me of Buck, just very like outlandish avant-garde performance and music. They always put on a intricate, um, an intricate and textually textually diverse performance and production every time they do a show. It's like a whole art installation.
Hmm.
And they bring together communities of unlikely creatives to unlikely spaces. I really love that. I think Connecticut is on the cusp of being one of those unlikely artistic hubs
Hmm.
because New York is so close, but the way that inflation is, the cost of living is impossible for an artist. Artists, there are people that I was so inspired by. Um, just coming into music and modeling and just artistic expression, people I follow on Instagram who have hundreds of thousands of followers now, and they're from New York or they moved to New York for their art. And today they're posting like mutual aid requests because they can't
Mhm.
afford their rent, or they need to get out of the city, period, and they can't
Mhm.
afford to. And I think about things like that and I'm like, wow, I there are moments where the city can really uplift you. And I've seen like for example, Dochi, I think it's Dochi moved to New York, was homeless for months, and
Oh
now
man.
she's like, she's touring and making mad money and she's doing her
Right.
art. She's signed though.
Yeah.
And
Great to hear on WNHHLP 103.5 FM New Haven. Myself, Prestige, and my partner in crime, Long Island Rays, Elm City Made, Easy Blues in the bid, Indigo. Please continue.
whoop, whoop.
So smooth.
So like these artists, they were once in a place that was like, oh, okay, like the city is going to do great for me. And then now what? And I don't know. I just definitely see New Haven becoming like a sanctuary for struggling artists
Mhm.
who can't make it, who literally just can't survive in the city. Because we have so much art here, so much collaboration, potential collaboration here. The only thing is we need those resources available to artists to be like straight up available to artists. No more nonprofits getting it in between the arts and the
Mhm.
resources needed
Right.
to produce the art. Like just get out
Mhm.
the way, stop giving out like 5 grants a year, and like
Right.
why don't we have like a pool? I'm an anarchist. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
you
just
coming up
like,
with good
Whatever.
ideas. We're loving this
Whatever.
information,
First of all,
and
I
it's
love
great to hear
anarchy.
too.
Yeah, let's be real. I love anarchy, and that's fine. And no, you're 100% correct. And there are ways, and we're gonna talk. We're gonna grow because too much. We're talking very similar languages. I just know that next cusp and layer for you. It's a little grimy and it's a little dirty, and I know you don't want to necessarily get there, but I am someone who can get there for you. Um, just saying. We'll, we'll
a
we'll
real
we'll
one.
talk. We'll talk. Yeah, yeah. But no, it's super important. But everything you're saying though too, when you look at the greater scale of music and music history, has always been there. You know, there's stories that Alice Cooper opened for the Doors at the Whiskey A Go Go, and his show was so strange, he got the entire audience to walk out before the door came on.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So like there has been this type of art. There has been the theater of ridiculous. Like definitely check that out because there are these extra layers. And the more that I found out and learned about that, like I'm a huge, I'm about to launch a new clothing line called Carney AF
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a huge proponent for, the carnival life is how I
Mm-hmm.
live, but it's also because there's such an honor code there, and because we only are functioning within ourselves it's just so super important. And that's one of those aspects of as you move forward, you have to then kind of adapt to this thing. And you even see it. We talked when Chesky was on the show the last, talked about the codependence aspect, and I said to him, I was like, I pay really close attention to how this is going down because the more successful he gets in this system, the bigger of a light is going to be shined on New Haven. And that means,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll say it again, so all New Haven and Connecticut artists pay attention. There's about to be a very big spotlight here.
Yes,
Now's the
there
time
is.
to release your best art. Don't be happy with the stuff you just have as content. This is where you need your walls. This is where you need, your stuff to just pop the best. Fight harder, be better, put on a better live show, put more passion into your project, and
Mm-hmm.
do not be afraid to bleed all over the track. Is all
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying. It's going to be our time, but y'all are not prepared. And that's me saying
Right.
that, not Indigo. Just saying.
I think you're right. I co-sign.
Oh, see, now it's a problem. Now it's a problem. Preston's like, oh man, not again.
Yeah.
Oh no, not at all.
But what are your thoughts on the chaos I just spewed, Indigo?
I mean, like I said, New Haven, it's a hub. It's a hub already. And then with inflation, I really think that people from different places, especially from New York, are going to be trickling through to kind of like they're already peeping game. I mean, people
Mhm.
from New York, I meet a lot of people from New York who are like, "Oh, I went to a show in New Haven this one time," or I went to New York, and I didn't even know anybody knew of me in New York. And this one person was like, "Are you Indigo?" I was like,
Mhm.
"How do you know me?"
Word.
But like people peep Connecticut, and like not just the music, the fashion is
Mhm.
ridiculous. Our fashion scene, okay, I have to shout out the Black femmes out here. Sid Bell, tattoo artist and Sid University founder, is an amazing fashion designer who has done Fashion Week before, who has put on great productions. We've collaborated on productions before. And so definitely tap in Sid University. I mean, she's one of the people that's bridging creative borders between artists out of state and Connecticut, as well as Chastity.
Unfortunately, we have to bridge the borders of this interview starting to roll into the very end. We do want to give this time for you to pump it out and let's promote the heck out of yourself, all the homies, how they find you, where they can get a high five or a fist bump. You know what I'm saying? And like how we can invest in Indigo and how to move forward.
Definitely.
Yeah, yo, I have been Indigo the Fae. You can find me on Instagram at Ndigaux. I have a show coming up in Hartford on the 11th of November with Foxtails, Tilt, and Chop 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 Chop, and a bunch of other artists. It's Brat Festival, so pop out. I also have a show with Queen Kong in December. I have a project coming out with Chesky Ramos in December. And I
Go.
just dropped an EP on Bandcamp called Indigo the Fae. Check that out, buy it, or check it out on all other platforms coming out October 27th.
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
Indigo. Before we get off in this interview, 3 things you are grateful for.
I'm grateful for my 2 cats who tried to eat my leftover pizza this morning. I am grateful for the community in Connecticut. Y'all are really
Of
awesome.
course.
Even when I'm tired of y'all, you just always come through, and you're kind of cool. You're kind of cool. And I'm just grateful for self existence, the fact that I get to breathe right now. Yeah.
Indigo, thank you so much for being a part of Behind the Brand. We appreciate you. Myself, Preston, and my partner in crime, Long Island raised, Elm City made, EZ Bluez is in the building. And this has been Behind the Brand on WNHH LP 103.5 FM, New Haven. Appreciate you.